Let's end this on a high note.
I need a perimeter as far back as 39th.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 final battles in action movies. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at the finales of action movies where a great number of combatants square off.
Let's just not come in tomorrow. Let's just take a day.
However, we're only considering large-scale, multi-person skirmishes and not one-on-one confrontations, so action flicks like The Raid 2, despite its spectacular final kitchen fight, are not eligible. By the way, a spoiler alert is probably in order.
You don't have to say anything at all.
Number 10, Heroin Factory Battle, Tropic Thunder.
I got this.
While technically an action comedy, this film nonetheless emphasizes the former of that description to great effects for this all-out, balls-to-the-wall extravaganza of combat and hilarious one-liners. It's all the more entertaining to consider that our heroes aren't actually soldiers with years of military experience, but are just actors, somehow miraculously surviving the hordes of gunfire and adversaries they're up against. It all caps off with the money shot of one big explosion, because those are a must in the genre, as Tug Speedman darts across the bridge just as it is blown to bits behind him. It's certainly a thunderous way to kick off our list. Number 9, R.I.P. Dockyard, A Better Tomorrow. When a trade between officers of the law and triad gangsters goes horribly awry, you can be sure that there will be a few casualties in the ensuing showdown. Okay, a lot of casualties. Okay, the entire dock gets blown to smithereens. Legendary action director John Woo's penchant for huge explosions, sensational stunts, and loads of gunfire are all present in this grand finale. Nearly everything that can blow up does blow up at some point, creating the atmosphere of a large-scale war zone in a tightly packed location. It's quite the spectacle, and we can't think of a better way to close off A Better Tomorrow. Number 8, NWA Shootout, Hot Fuzz.
Morning.
In order to successfully bring down a corrupt, cult-like organization and end their reign over a small British town, officers Nick Angel and Danny Butterman decide to play bad cop and load up for a shootout that borders on both thrilling excitement and zany insanity. The shootout rages in every location imaginable, from the streets themselves to inside of the grocery stores. The chaos on display reaches ludicrous levels of violence. But what really helps elevate this finale from just another shootout is that it isn't shy to poke fun at other popular action films, like Point Break. They win in the end, but the town is going to have one hefty repair bill.
I feel like I should say something smart.
Number 7, 50 Cal, Rambo. Refusing to back down against a ruthless military regime, John Rambo takes the fight to them by commandeering a mounted M2 Browning machine gun and completely annihilating the enemy forces below. After watching the brutal struggles that Rambo had to endure in the movie up to this point, it's satisfying to see him finally rise up against the bad guys by hitting them hard and hitting them fast, providing them just as little mercy as they do towards their missionary captives. The bullets tear through the soldiers as if they were made of paper, shredding them to pieces, with blood and bloody parts flying in all directions. It's gory, it's outrageous, and it's very Rambo. Number 6, Battle of New York, The Avengers.
Why the hell should I take orders from you?
This was it, the moment Marvel fans had been clamoring for. Their favorite heroes assembled together on the big screen against a larger threat, and the moment did not disappoint. The action makes great use of each Avenger's individual skill set, helping to maintain a sense of flair and excitement during the entirety of this superpowered climax. The big standout is a continuous shot that manages to feature all of the Avengers fending off the Chitauri invasion, perfectly demonstrating the large scale of the battle and the awesome power that Earth's mightiest heroes have to fight them off. Is anyone else craving shawarma after this?
There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here.
Number 5, Final Chase, Mad Max Fury Road.
Remember me?
George Miller's relentlessly thrilling vision of a post-apocalyptic world may have already left you breathless by the time the ending rolls around, but the film manages to squeeze in one last ride packed with crashes, fiery explosions, and total madness, with the fighters jumping between vehicles and exchanging incredibly violent blows. Not to mention the scene ending with a truck being flipped, the sequence makes for a powerhouse example of phenomenal stunt work and practical effects. In comparison to the other action beats in the film, the finale is more up close and personal by comparison, but we wouldn't have it any other way. What a battle! What a lovely battle! Number 4, Holding the Line, Saving Private Ryan. After successfully locating Private Ryan after a long and perilous search, Captain John Miller decides to help him hold the line against incoming Nazi infantry. They actually prepare pretty well for the encounter, setting up booby traps and picking clever sniping positions, but the Nazis have Tiger tanks. So yeah. The amount of destruction caused by the battle, as well as the number of casualties, quickly begins to grow with each bullet fired and grenade tossed, as the film expertly represents the horror of being on a battlefield in all its brutal, uncensored mayhem. With this in mind, Saving Private Ryan both opens and closes with amazing battle scenes. Not an easy feat.
Person! He's still in this fight!
Number 3. The Bride vs. the Crazy 88. Kill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah!
In her quest to kill Bill, the Bride crosses paths with the ruthless gang of warriors known as the Crazy 88. Armed with a bevy of different weapons, and with the Bride having her own razor-sharp blade to defend herself, well, cue the bloodshed in 3, 2, 1. The action doesn't let up, with the stunts, choreography, and amount of gore, not to mention decapitation, only increasing as the fight goes on. The Bride proves herself a capable killing machine as she soars through the air and slices her way through an amount of enemies that should have easily had her outnumbered. It all makes for one eye-popping final battle. Number 2. Helm's Deep, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. In a valiant attempt to protect innocent people, a group of around 300 combatants rise up to fend off nearly 10,000 invading R.I.P forces. The odds aren't too pretty at all, with Saruman's army very quickly breaking through the defenses in the most explosive way imaginable. The entirety of this battle effectively captures just how desperate a struggle this is, with Aragorn, Gimli and company doing everything they possibly can to defeat the R.I.P, while victory looks to be nowhere in sight. But just when all hope seems to be lost, Gandalf and the Riders of Rohan swoop in to save the day, sending the baddies running for the hills. Before we reveal our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I came back to stop you.
Number 1. Battle of Endor, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Accelerate to attack speed. Draw their fire away from the cruisers.
One can't bring up the Star Wars saga without mentioning one of its many spectacular large-scale battle scenes, like the epic Scarif showdown in Rogue One. However, we feel the Battle of Endor is a much more satisfying clash overall, as it perfectly caps off the intense struggle between Rebels and Empire in a grand, explosive fashion. With combat raging both on the planet itself and in space, the sequence goes for quite some time, yet never at any point loses its momentum, closing off the original Star Wars trilogy with one heck of a thrilling conclusion. Plus, Ewoks beat up stormtroopers. That's just awesome.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.